I'm Chevee. Today, let's discuss saying no. Hello, friends. Welcome to the shed. It's Monday. Favorite day of the week. Got a bunch done today. Last week, we soft launched the program that I've been working on for the past year to a few individuals, and I found a whole list of little things I needed to fix, and today was that day. I just sat down and fixed all these little things to get everything running smoothly before we send this out to a larger audience. And doing that, I had a lot of interaction with coworkers today, which is really fun. And one of those interactions that I had was with a female coworker. She identifies as female because she was born a female, and we discussed the differences between men and women's brains and how we think of, and it was an interesting topic because recently on YouTube I have seen 2, maybe 3 videos that are basically videos saying it's okay to say no, or how to say no to your friends, or saying no. And all 3 of those videos were from females. Now, I'm not going to try and say that males have an easier time saying no than females. That's not true at all. But the fact is that females are more likely to talk about this sort of thing than males. That's what I'll say. It's much more likely that a group of females would get together and talk about strategies on how to say no, or how to talk to the males. We don't talk about that stuff. That's just not our thing. And that was basically the discussion that I had with her today was, males, we have this, our brains are like a bunch of shoe boxes that have labels on them, and if you say, hey, did you cut your grass? Then I pull out my grass cutting shoebox and I open it and we talk about cutting grass. And when we're done with that conversation, I close my shoebox and I put it away. Whereas females' brains are like this big ball of yarn, and you say one thing and you try to pick out that piece of yarn and out comes this whole tangle. And I don't know if that's true for females, but I can tell you that's basically how males work. We are very one focus. This is it, and then once I'm done with that, I'll move to this, and it's this very blocky way of thinking. And so for us, whether I should tell somebody no or not, to me, I don't think about the other person when I say no to somebody. If somebody says, hey, can you do this, and I say no, that's it. I don't take into consideration how that's going to make them feel. I don't take into consideration whether that's going to cause them to ask me in the future. I just say no. That's just it. There's no underlying struggle in my brain about just simply saying no. Now, that being said, I'm not the kind of person that says no a lot. I enjoy being asked to help. Helping is one of my favorite things to do. And so I will typically say yes just because I enjoy helping. Now, that being said, I only have so much time in the day. And I have oftentimes in my life found myself saying yes to too many things at once and wishing I had said no. But that's just, I think that everybody has those scheduling issues because we don't really think about, if I say, oh yeah, I can do that, and that'll take me an hour, typically it'll take me more like 4 hours because now I have to think about this or whatever. The circumstances aren't the same for whatever it is you're asking me to do versus what I've done in the past. And so therefore, it takes more time, and then that screws up my whole schedule, and I've said yes to these people. And so to answer, there is no question. What am I answering? The question of, is it okay to say no? Absolutely, yes. The difference between how males and females think about saying no, I think, are probably very different. And maybe I'm completely off base here. Tell me in the comments if you think I'm crazy, because I don't think I am. But, I know I'm crazy, but not on this particular subject. I think that for us, for males, no, I'm not going to do that, that's perfectly fine. We say that to each other often. There is a little bit of an alpha struggle if I'm trying to, kind of puff my chest in front of other males, then I will say yes to things that maybe I wouldn't have otherwise said yes to. But there's no background of investigation going on in my head about whether if I say no, then that's going to cascade into this, or this. I don't think about that stuff. It's just simply saying no. And so why have I seen these videos popping up on YouTube lately? I'm really not sure. It has nothing to do, it's nothing sexual. It's not saying no sexually. It's just saying no in general. Like, no, I don't want to do that. No, I'm not going to do that. For me, that's just part of life. And watching these three females discuss, how they struggle with saying no, or they don't want to offend anybody, or if I say no, will they ask me later? Because just because I said no once doesn't mean I'm always going to say no. Particularly with friends. It's very common to make up an excuse as to why you don't want to do something. And I think a lot of that comes down to, if I say no now, then my friend's going to stop asking me. Hey, do you want to go, whatever, play tennis? No. Today is no, but maybe tomorrow's yes. But if I say no, maybe they won't invite me again, or whatever. Do you want to go to the bar? No. Or should I just say, well, I can't because I have to do this, and make up an excuse? No, the answer is just say no and tell them, I don't want to go this time, but please, ask me next time. How hard is that? You don't have to make up an excuse. It's easy to say no. You just have to. Just saying no, though, is completely not the right way to do it. Like I just gave you the example. Your friend calls up and says, hey, a bunch of us are going out tonight. Do you want to go? And you don't really feel like going. You say, you know what, not this time, but please call me next time because I'm definitely interested. So that tells them, I'm not feeling like going tonight, but I definitely want to go in the future, so please ask me again. Whereas if you just said, nah, I'm good, then that friend might not ever ask you again because they might assume that you just don't want to go, ever. And that maybe you don't. So then it's okay. No, I don't want to go. Then you're done. You don't have to go. And your friend will probably never ask you again. But if you want to leave that avenue open, it's perfectly fine to not make up an excuse. Oh, I've got a headache. Whatever. No, just say, hey, I'm not interested this time, but please ask me in the future. How hard is that? Is that difficult? I don't know. Tell me in the comments. I'm not really sure. To me, that's just how I've gone through life. I try not to make excuses. I try to just, yes, no, that's it. That's the end of the story. But maybe, again, having this discussion with my coworker today about the way male brains and female brains work, and having seen these three females have videos about no, maybe there is some correlation there as to how we go about our social interactions with our friends. I know as a male, I don't necessarily think about how my appearance or my attitude affects my friends. Like, that doesn't bother me at all. And if it did, they wouldn't be my friends. Whereas I know that talking to some females at work, it's very much different for them. They have to think about the social hierarchy and how they say things, what that means. And that sounds terrible. I don't ever want to live that way. So anyway, just a quick discussion for Mondays. Next week, I am going camping with my family. I will be off for that week, so I'm going to pre-record episodes. Please, please, please send me some footage of you doing random facts, of you and your family, whatever. Send me some stuff to put in next week's episode so I don't have to work as hard. That'd be awesome. It's all going to be pre-recorded, pre-uploaded, because I will have zero internet access while I'm camping. So please, get out your phone, record something, act silly, talk about a current event, do a random fact, send me some stuff to put in next week's episodes, or pictures. Just take pictures of interesting things and send me a little story about it. Hey, I saw this thing doing whatever. I'll put that in the show. I need material for next week, so please help me out. Again, thank you guys for being here. As always, you're amazing. I love you. Don't forget to leave me a comment. Tell me what you think about saying no. While you're down there, hit the thumbs button, subscribe, and please, please, please continue to share my videos with all of your friends. Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow.
Hey, Doc, wait. I want to ask you something.
Today's random fact comes from microlife.com. No idea what that is. What percentage of your weight is muscle? Exercise is very important in maintaining a healthy body, and the muscle mass percentage is a useful indicator to control it. The normal muscle mass percentage on the body weight lies between 38 and 54% for men and between 28 and 39% for women, depending on age and physical activity level. So for males, half of our body weight is muscle. That's interesting. I have heard that women have a higher percentage of body fat for feeding times and stuff like that, because your bodies are basically prepping for demand. Neat.